All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome. Let's get people in on this Zoom, shall we? Okay, so we are going to go and do it. We're going to go ahead and go live. Welcome back, everybody, to day two. Let's wake you all up there. Okay, so we are going a little bit later on our Tuesday, the 2nd of December. Thank you very much for the patient ones. I had a couple of people message me saying, "Where were you 3 hours ago?" Just had to say, "Hey, listen, check your calendars." It was all scheduled for. We had family things that were going on, but we are all good now. Kids are asleep, and it is a little bit late for those in the UK. I do apologize. Even later for those who are tuning in from Italy. I know I've got a couple of people tuning in from Italy, which is awesome. So thank you very much. A little bit later for you. Obviously, over those on the western side of the world. Danny, it's a little bit better for you today, which is cool, over in Los Angeles. So just let me know. Perfect time in Mexico. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it. Let me know where you are tuning in from. I know those of you in America love this time, but it's 9 o'clock. I'm normally fast asleep at this time. I spent the last 2 hours putting a 3-year-old to bed, so I'm zoned out. So I got to get going again. But hey, this is a pleasure to do. This is a topic that I love talking about, and it's something that I hope that you all dig. So first and foremost, I put a video up in the group this morning, early this morning, 13 hours ago. I put this video up in the group because I woke up with a little bit of inspiration from what I showed you all yesterday. Because with ChatGPT, with AI that we have it right now, there's literally no excuses not to be posting content every single day. And I can speak to how important it is to post content every single day on your socials and doing emails, etc. It just helps, because the more that people can see you, the more that people can buy from you. It's business 101, especially when it's going to be around what we talked about last night. The biggest kickback to that when I say these things is that, hey, I haven't got the time. I haven't got the time. Don't know what I'm doing. Haven't got the skill set. In a 15-minute video this morning, I hopefully dispelled any of those qualms or things that you tell yourself. With literally a couple of questions and a couple of prompts, we're able to create a TikTok, an Instagram, a Facebook, a LinkedIn, an email, a blog post, literally in 15 minutes. So it can be done. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be done. And so that's what I wanted to try and get to you. Now, if you're thinking, Mark, what are you talking about? What video? And if you're watching this live around the internet, welcome. There's a big Zoom room going on right now, so you can come and jump into here. But go into the Facebook group. The Facebook group is up and running. It'll be up and running for the rest of this week if you've missed it. And it is literally the post that I put out 13 hours ago. So you can go and check it. It's had a bit of engagement. What I would love to see in the next 16 hours, I would love to see somebody from the group, doesn't matter who, just come and post using the skill set that I showed you this morning, and put the link to the post in the comments. That'd be really cool to see. So that was that. Yesterday, obviously, I walked you through Notebook LM. I walked you through ChatGPT, and I showed you how to level up your skills. Now, just a quick yes or no in the chat for everybody that is jumping in. I've got loads of people in the waiting room. Sorry. Just for everybody that is in here, just give me a quick yes or no. Have you leveled up your ChatGPT? Did you go and grab the prompts and the instructions that I gave you yesterday, and did you implement it? Fantastic. Great work, Danny. Did anybody else? Good. Well done, Harrow. Thank you very much. So that's cool. Is anybody in the chat, when I say about yesterday, did anybody not tune in? Does anybody not know what I'm talking about? Because if not, again, please go into the Facebook group, go back onto day one and go and check it out, because it was a good one. It really will help you level up your skills. I also did a little bit of a sneak peek of what is going to be happening tomorrow. Obviously, tomorrow I'm going to focus a lot on big events, aka there's a big event happening on Friday, which is the draw for the FIFA World Cup. Tomorrow, I'm going to have a revenue manager join me on the call, an expert revenue manager who I've known for a long time now, who's very, very good. And he's going to walk you through some tips. I have spoken today with Price Labs. and they have given me a blog post on their latest help and advice. I've been speaking with Jamie Lane of Air DNA. He's been giving me some help and advice. So we're going to come tomorrow packed with really good goodness. And again, like I've said all week, even if you are not directly going to be impacted by the FIFA World Cup, these tactics and tricks that we're going to talk about will help you in the future if a big event comes to your town, your city, your state, your country. So there's definitely some skills to be learned. Today, I'm going to dial it back a little bit, and I'm going to walk you through some simple steps, 6 steps to boost your direct bookings in 2026. So yesterday, I feel like I hit the ground running. Yesterday, I feel like I went 100 miles an hour. And I just went all in on where some people maybe were just wanting to go slowly. I just went all in. So I want to just dial it back a little bit today. What I'm going to talk about today is very, very simple. Some of you that have been listening to me for a while, you may be listening to it going, Mark, you've talked about that before, but I always feel like it's a real good chance to have a refresher, because there's a lot of people who are joining us for the first time. There's names that I've never seen before, which is amazing. There's names that I recognize, which is fantastic. But I like to just remind you, because a lot of the things that I talk about isn't complicated by design. Because again, I always feel like with business, especially when it comes to sales and marketing, a lot of the things are very simple. You just need a nice reminder. And every time I meet people in person, they always come up to me and say, listen, what you talk about is very simple. I don't know if it's a compliment or not, but they say it's sometimes I just need that reminder. So that's what I wanted to do with today's session. Now, I do have slides that I've used before, but seeing that I've been so impressed with this Notebook LM, what I did just before our call, about 30 minutes ago, I uploaded the slides to Notebook LM, and I hit the slide button, and it's created them for me. And I think they're even better than mine. So I'm going to use them. Okay. So let me hit my share screen. Again, this is probably going to take about 30 to 35 minutes. I will open at the end for questions. So if questions do come in, just please pop them in the chat as we go. And yeah, so this is the title. This is the 6-step roadmap to 65% direct bookings. So first and foremost, before we do get started, I just would love to know where you all are tuning in from. Again, there's loads of new names tonight, which is great. So let me know where you're tuning in from, as long as it's safe to do so. Wherever you are. I know we've got people from Los Angeles, the UK, Mexico, Florida, which is fantastic, UK, Georgia, amazing. Zoe, Karen, Johnson, Sib. Okay, fantastic. So really, really cool. Okay, so let's get started, shall we? First slide. What happens when your entire business relies on a platform that can suspend you overnight? One bad review, one algorithm change, one policy update, and your revenue is gone. So the reason why this slide is in here is that I believe that in this industry, and maybe it's 90% of people in this room, maybe it's 90% of the people watching this live, maybe it's just 90% of this industry, I feel like too many people are building their business on somebody else's land. This is why I do what I do. This is why I turn up and show up every single day to give help and advice, because it's my worry and it's my fear that so many people are building their whole business on, let's just call it Airbnb's land. Now, obviously, this is not an anti-Airbnb webinar. They have done fantastically well to build their business, and, they provide revenues and etc. for so many people. But when you start a business, it is so hard to start a business, first and foremost. So every single one of you that has got up and running and started a business, fantastic. When you're starting a business, there are so many plates that are spinning, right? And we're in a very fortunate industry where we're in an industry of creating memories, right? We're in a very in-demand industry. There's no other industries that I know where you can pretty much start a business, take a couple of pictures, whack it up on 2 or 3 websites, and be pretty much guaranteed to get revenue coming in. And that is the world of hospitality. We're very lucky to have people like Airbnb, Booking.com, and Expedia, because again, if you, I don't know what career you were in before this. I don't know if you've had businesses before, but when I started Boostly, There was no website that I could go and list my services on where I could be guaranteed to get revenue in. You know, I've had to do it the hard way, so to speak. I've had to build a brand. I've had to do all of the things. Yeah, I had to drag people kicking and screaming, the first people that work with me. So we don't get this in other industries, but in hospitality we do. And so when you're starting a business and you've got all these plates that are spinning, if there's one plate that is sales and marketing, if you can just go, I'm just going to leave that for Airbnb, that is very, very good to have. But the problem is this. The problem is what happens when that plate stops spinning. What happens when the bookings no longer come in from Airbnb? And like this says in here, it can literally be one bad review, one algorithm change, a policy update, or something sinister where, you know, your listing gets suspended. And unfortunately, where we are right now at the tail end of 2025, with all of the new changes that have happened this year with Airbnb and with all of the new AI-ness that is coming to their support, this is happening time and time again. And it's not just happening to the bad hosts. You know, they're doing this to get rid of the bad hosts, which is totally fair. But unfortunately, good hosts, professional hosts, good people are getting caught up in this. And unfortunately, again, because of the nature of what I talk about, people come to us when they're at that point of desperation where, again, you know, they've been suspended from Airbnb, they've got 10 listings, you know, they're doing a model of arbitrage, which is rent to rent. They've got bills to pay, they've got no way of getting bookings. And, you know, I don't want to have that, right? And, you know, the simple matter of fact is Airbnb is that channel, right? Especially in America. And this is a crazy graph, right? In 2017, Airbnb just had 15% of the market. Okay. In 2024, so the end of 2024, and I'm fascinated to know what that number is going to be at the end of this year, that number had gone up to 62%. They had 62% of the market. So what that shows to me is that Airbnb have not only just caught up with Booking.com and Expedia, they've overtaken them. And they are on the route to monopolizing this industry. And at the start of this year, Brian Chesky was on a couple of talk shows, a couple of conferences, and he said that he wants Airbnb to become the Amazon of travel. Now, the Amazon of travel got my spidey sense going. You know, it set off alarm bells because I can speak firsthand to this because I have worked with Amazon. So if you didn't know, 4 years ago, I wrote my first ever book called The Book Direct Playbook. It is on Amazon. I could only put it on Amazon. I couldn't do anything else. I couldn't do it direct. Behind me is not a printing press. There's a 3-year-old sleeping right now. So I had to go on Amazon. And as you can see the numbers here, for every dollar that I make on Amazon takes 66% commission. Now, that is crazy, right? So for every dollar, they take 66 cents. Now, on top of that, I don't get any customer data. So if you were to go on Amazon right now, and if you were to go and buy this book, I would not know who bought the book. So I don't get first name, last name, email address, phone number. I get none of that. All I get is just money into my bank every couple of months, right? And so when Brian Chesky turns around and says, hey, we want to be the Amazon of travel, this sets off alarm bells. And it set off my alarm bells in January. And let's not forget the heady days of January where the commission that you were paying to Airbnb was 3%, okay? For a lot of people at the end of October, that has now gone up to 15.5%. For a few of you in here, you were paying 15% and it's gone up to 15.5%. So everybody's been affected with the commission fees. All right. So just in the chat, just give me a yes or no. Were you used to paying the 3%? Are you now paying 15.5%? Or have you gone from 15% to 15.5%? Just let me know, yes or no in the chat. So that's happened. The fees have gone up. Okay. What else has happened? Well, the policies have changed. So strict cancellation policy, the cancellation policies has amended. So they're giving you less control in your bookings. They're giving you less control of your business and they're taking more money. The 3% to 15.5%, that wasn't a massive a shock to me. I've been saying this on stage for so many years. It's a case of when, not if. It was the move from 15% to 15.5%. That was the alarm bells, because without improving anything, some may argue have made it worse. They're now taking more money. And yes, it's only 0.5%, but 0.5% when you're Airbnb, I tried to do some rough maths. I think that equated to, in the space of 24 hours, 126 million extra dollars, right? For literally putting up 0.5. And also as well, when they launched services and when they launched experiences, Brian Chesky again was doing the circuit route. And he said that he wants the commission model to be as simplistic as possible. This is my next prediction. I don't know if you knew this, but if you were a service provider on Airbnb or if you were an experience provider on Airbnb, you have to pay 20% flat rate commission, okay? And if Brian Chesky is saying he wants everybody to be paying the same amount eventually, I can see a case of when, not if, we're all going to move to 20% commission, okay? And why can they do this? Because they can, because they are dominating this industry. Like Amazon, that dominate the book industry because they can. So then what's stopping us from going from 15.5% to 20%? What's then going to stop them from going from 20% to 25%, 30%, 40%? They can come to you and go, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Airbnb host, we don't feel like this relationship is fair. We're bringing you 100% of your bookings. We actually feel like we should be taking 40, 50, 60% commission. Now, what would that do again for you? And then again, it may not be money. It may be a case of just where every booking that is coming in, you feel like Big Brother is watching over you. There's got to a point now where the guests are so savvy on Airbnb. They know how to make a complaint and they know how to do it through the app, so that you are so worried about losing your Superhost badge or getting a bad review that you will bend over backwards just to make sure that they're all right, even when they're in the wrong, because Airbnb literally control that over you. They dangle those Geppettos, puppet strings over you. And that's not a good place to be, especially if you want to grow your business and someday, who knows, maybe sell your business, right? And this is my worry. Let me move my face out of the way because my face is literally in the way of the bit I want you to see. So this chart here shows the risk exposure. So let me know in the chat. You're either low risk, which is 0 to 35% reliant on the OTAs, Airbnb, Booking.com, Expedia. So you have a strong brand, you've got repeat guests, you're in full control. So if you are at 0 to 35% OTA, that means you are 65 to 100% direct. Just put a low risk in the chat. If you are, phenomenal, you are well on your way. If you are medium risk, that means 35% to 75% of all of your bookings come from an OTA. So that means you have a direct strategy in place, but you are still vulnerable. If you are medium risk, put medium risk. And if you are high risk, that means you've got no direct channel, no guest data, no control. So over 75% of your bookings are coming from Airbnb and the OTAs. If you are high risk, just put high risk. Now, there is no right or wrong answer on this. Okay? Literally, there's no right and there's no wrong answer on this. The reason why I do this, the reason why we show up every day, the reason why we're doing this boot camp and we do podcasts and all of the things is to help everybody get into this green bracket here. All the tools, all the templates, everything that we do is to help you and is to help this industry, because we have got a fantastic opportunity right now to fight back. Book market on Amazon? No, we can't do that. But we have got the ability. We are still very fortunate that we have a time where we can do this. And it's my hope that everybody who's watching this can take something from today's session and implement something. Because what I want to do is I want to show you the 6 simple steps. Now, what's really funny here is this next slide was going to be about me. okay, about our background, but the AI image has got it a little bit wrong. Now, how can you tell the AI image is wrong? I wonder. I wonder where the AI image is wrong. In the chat, let me know where you see the AI image has gone a little bit wrong. There's a little bit too much stuff up here, and there's not enough stuff down here, which is very funny. I mean, it's a handsome chat, but it's definitely not me. So who am I? If this is the first time that you're watching this, so at the time of exiting our family business, we were at 80% direct bookings, which is amazing. We attributed the fact that we were able to exit with a lot of zeros on the end because of the fact that we had so many direct bookings coming in. Because when the investors looked at the business, they could see that we weren't so reliant on a platform. So one of the biggest risks when you're selling a business is that the investor will look at your business and go, if we lose the owner, if we take this on, what is the risk that the business just collapses? And that's one of the risks that people happens when you're so reliant on Airbnb. Yes, Karen, thank you, the full head of air. And then basically since then, I've been helping hosts all over the world. We've worked with over 2,000 businesses. And on average, our Boostly members, they have a 59 times return of investment. In 2024, our websites tracked $150 million in direct bookings, and we're on track to double that this year, which is phenomenal. But this is not about me. This is about you and what we can do. So these are 6 steps that I'm going to show you. I'm going to walk you through. Now, these 6 steps are very simple, but I think it's a nice little reminder. Now, what I would like for you to do while doing this, and again, if the screen's a little blurry, and if you have the ability, you can open up YouTube. It's live on YouTube right now. The screen might be a little bit brighter, but still keep the Zoom room open because you can chat in here, which I love to see the chat going. Let me just check that we are 100% live on the YouTube. Yes, we are, which is fantastic. So you can go over to the YouTube. It's in live right now, and you'll be able to see it a bit more clearer than on the Zoom room. But also as well, the replay will be available as well. So if you miss anything, if I go a bit quick. Now, if it's something that you're doing, let us know. If you can add to this in here in the chat, let us know. If there's something you're not doing, make a note of it. And then what I would like at the end is for you to tell me what you can implement straight away. So this isn't theory. It's a simple, actionable blueprint to systematically grow your direct bookings, cut your reliance on the OTAs, and build a resilient, profitable business. Now, if you are listening to this, and if you are in the high risk, and if you would like a simple, actionable blueprint to systematically grow your direct bookings, cut your reliance on the OTAs, and build a resilient, profitable business, just leave me a hell yeah in the chat. That's all I need to know, because then I know that what I'm going to show you works. Okay, so let's get started. So step number 1, and I think this is probably the most important step. So let's get into it. The riches are in the niches. So the slide here says, stop trying to be for everyone. Define your ideal guest, the multi-generational family, the surfer, the remote worker, and build your entire experience for them. An undefined audience leads to forgettable marketing. So basically what this means, and this is really cool from Notebook LM that it took this from what I gave it, but when you try and appeal to everybody, you appeal to nobody, okay? We are in, like I said, the industry of making memories. And there's people in here that do multiple models. You either own your short-term rentals or your medium-term rentals, and then you rent them out. You either do the management model / co-host model, where you approach a homeowner, somebody who is renting their property out, and you say, hey, I can do this for you. And for every booking that comes in, I'll just take X % commission and I'll sort everything for you. Or there's the rent-to-rent model, where it's called arbitrage, subleasing, whatever you want to call it. You will go to a landlord, you will rent it off them, and you will then do what you need to do, pocket all the money. That's the 3 different models, okay? And with all of these models, everybody has the same thing. So as you're growing the business, especially if you've got quite a few properties, okay? In fact, in the chat, let me know how many properties that you have right now in your portfolio. See if you can relate to this. So as you're getting going, let's just say you've got 1 property, okay? And you're doing a really good job. A friend of a friend will see that you're doing a good job, and they'll go, hey, my friend has got a short-term rental just on the other block. would you like to manage it for him, or would you like to take it on? You'll say yes, right? As you're starting out in your business journey. And then because you're doing a good job, other people will come to you. So like the friend of the friend of the friend, or somebody in your WhatsApp group, or somebody on the school run, or you'll meet somebody at a network, at a conference, and you'll just say yes to everything, right? And it'll come to a point where you'll have 10 properties, say, right? And 6 of them are all around one niche, but then the other 4 are totally random, right? And this is as damaging to your business as anything, because what really you need to be doing as you grow your business is defining what your speciality is. So when I talk about the riches are in the niches, somebody said to me when I first got going in business is that you want to bury yourself so far down in a niche, there's not room for anybody else. And for you, that could be a number of things. So first of all, you've got to define who is your ideal guest. So who is the ideal person that will be walking through your doors? Who do you want to cater for? And that could be somebody that is in the mirror image of you. So, it could be a family, right? It could be solo travelers. It could be people with a pet. It could be Gen Z. It could be boomers. It could be Gen X. It could be millennials. It could be whatever, right? But you need to define who your ideal guest is. Then what you need to do is you need to go, well, who is the type of person that is traveling to my area? Now, what I will say with this, with context, is that if you've got 5 properties in Houston, you've got 4 properties in Dallas, you've got 7 properties over in New York, you've got some scattering in Miami, just pick one area and work from there, okay? But for a lot of you, I feel like we've just got the one location. So who are the type of people that majority come to your area, right? The thing here for the surfer is a story that I shared a while ago. So let's just say that your location is your property. You've got 3 properties that are on the beach. Like you could literally throw a stone and it lands in the sea. The people that come to your location are predominantly surfers because your part of the world is well known for surfing, right? So you've got 3 properties on the beach. Everything about that property is set up for surfers. So you've got the surfboard racks on the deck. You provide the sex wax that goes onto the board. Everything is catered for surfers, right? So that is somebody that has nailed the property, who's the property ideal for, and who's coming to town. But let's just say that same owner, right, has got 2 properties on the other side of town that has got nothing to do with surf, right? So you've got 3 properties here that are ideal, and you've got 2 properties over there. Your mission is to become the go-to person, right? And unfortunately, this person here, 3 properties on the surf, 2 properties other side of town, had to be the person that got rid of those 2 properties because those 2 properties were holding him back. So when I say the riches are in the niches, a lot of people misconstrue that and go, oh, he's just talking about guests. But really what it is about the properties that you have. Because when your properties are all in one brand and when all of your brand is talking about the same thing, you don't just become an Airbnb business, you become the name of your brand. And when people go back home and they're in their WhatsApp groups, they're in their school groups, on the school run, and they go, hey, where did you go on vacation? They're not going to say, oh, I just went to some Airbnb on the beach. It's like, oh, I went to stay at Surfer's Paradise, or insert your brand name. Now, when you do this exercise, it's really scary. And I get it, because the thing that you're thinking about right now is, but Mark, what about all of these people that I'm turning away, right? And that is the whole point of this, is that if you try and appeal to everybody, you appeal to nobody. When you've got a clear niche, when you've got a clear avatar, when you've got a clear customer, your listing on the online travel agents will seem like it's speaking to them. And before you go, but Mark, I thought this was all about direct bookings. 70% of all direct bookings start on an OTA search. So 7 out of 10 of your direct bookings happen because they start on a search on Airbnb. They start on a search on booking.com. They start on a search of Expedia, right? the things that you do to your OTA listings to get them to direct is another topic for another day. But when you nail your marketing, your OTA listing will it'll feel like it's speaking directly to your future potential guest. Your social media content will feel like it's speaking directly to your future potential guest. That example that I did this morning and I put into the Facebook group, that was literally a little 30-second reel that I did speaking to families looking to come to York, your website copy, your website pictures, the photo shoot that you take will be like it's speaking to your future potential guests. So if you've ever complained about lots of competition in your area, the saturated chat that I see so much in Facebook groups, it's nonsense, because if you focus on a niche and if you focus on an audience, then this becomes so much easier. And again, there's 3 steps to go through, and I can't go into too much detail. If you want a detailed copy of it, go and grab the copy of the book. There's a full chapter on it. But basically, you got to figure out A, who you want to be in your property, B, who is coming to your area, and C, how is your property set up to appeal into that niche, and then D, it's where are they hanging out online. Now, again, what's really clear on that, let's take the example of the family farm stay business that we had. Our avatar was families that lived, because we were a drive-to destination. So we targeted people maximum who lived 2 hours away from where we are. We targeted the busier cities, and people were coming to us, right? Families. It was ideal for it. We were never going to target, people looking to come for a night out. Heels didn't work on our farm. There's too much cow poo. But wellies is what we're after. All right. So we didn't try and target the people that were coming for a night out. We targeted the families. Now, here is where I throw it open to you, because I guarantee there's going to be questions, and I can see it now with Harvey. How do you niche down your ideal client? Please tell me in the chat, everybody who's in the chat, who is your ideal audience? Who is your ideal avatar? And how are you doing this? Fantastic. So we've got contractors. Okay, brilliant. Couples with a dog. Fantastic. So Harvey, have a look at that. If you want to know how to do this in a bit in depth, there's a full chapter on it in the book Direct Playbook. Go and grab a copy. Number 2, your network is your net worth. And I know there's a little bit of a typo over here, but hey, Notebook LM has done fantastic on this. So let's go to the next one. Your network is your network. I talked about it in the first slide, becoming the go-to accommodation expert in your local area. Forge partnerships with wedding venues, event organizers, local attractions. Build a referral engine that sends you high-value direct bookings while you sleep. So let me give you a story. And I love this story, and I talk about it a lot. But when we had the family farm stay business, we obviously attracted families. Okay, we had 14-bedroom guest house, and we had 3 holiday cottages. We would have hundreds of people come and visit and stay with us every single year. When people came to stay with us, I used to survey them all the time. So I would set up a very simple form. It wasn't Google Forms. There was something else back in 2013. And on their post-stay checkout, I would send them this form. And in the form, it was really easy. It was basically just asking them, what did they love most about us? What could we improve? But also as well, we asked them, where did they go? Because I was not naive enough to think that when people come and stay with us, they spend 100% of their time with us, right? I knew that they were going to explore, right? And we also as well, because we lived on site, we got chatting to our guests and we asked the same questions, or where are you going, etc. And we were able to figure out very quickly, we did the Pareto principle, which is the 80-20 rule. So we were to figure out there was 20% of local visitor attractions where 80% of our guests were going. And so I called one of them up. I called the owner and just said, hey, introduce myself, Mark at the Granary, just to let you know, we have about, hundreds of guests come and stay with us every single year. And majority of them are coming to you. They're coming to this farm. It was basically a farm day attraction, visitor attraction, where you could ride on tractors and feed sheep and all that cool stuff, right? And I asked him, hey, how could we make our visitors visit to you extra special? So he gave us a discount code. when they came, they mentioned this discount code, they took this little coupon, then we got some money off. So that for instantly the guest, it was a win. After about a year, the same guy calls me back and he's like, listen, Mark, anytime you and your family want to come and visit our farm, no charge, because he had a huge stack of these coupons, right? So it was a win for him because he wasn't paying for marketing. We were literally just sending him business, which business owner would not want that, right? And then the win for us came down the line. So this place started to do weddings. Okay, so they became a wedding venue, but they did not have accommodation. So obviously, when a couple are organizing their wedding, they're going to speak to the wedding organizer at said venue, and one of the first questions is, where do you recommend our guests to stay? Now, where do you think, Zoom chat, and put it in the chat, where do you think they recommended? It was us. And the cool thing about weddings is that A, they book in advance, B, they book out your whole venue, and C, it's all direct. So we could, at the start of the year, be looking at our calendar and we would just have 3 or 4 night blocks, in the 52 weeks that we're looking at, sorted already because of these bookings. Now, that is not just the one relationship that we made. We went and made several of them. And it was phenomenal. And it's all down to this. Your network is your net worth. The other story is that in 2014, I heard of the BNI. Does anybody know in the chat? Just quickly type it out. What is the BNI? What do you think that is? It's the Business Network Institute. So basically, these things get a bit of a bad rap, right? You meet on a Friday morning in a hotel, you get your breakfast, you have a little chat about business. Now, I started going to them, right? I paid to go. I committed to going for 6 months. And I said, listen, if anything else, we'll get to meet a few people. I would admit for the first 3 months, I didn't get anything from it, truly. I was very introverted, which is crazy as it may sound. I was just very shy, just kept myself to myself. But the cool thing about the BNI is that, number one, they used to, and I don't know if they still do it, they have a no compete clause. So I was the only hospitality person there, which was awesome. But secondly, you get to stand up and you get to give yourself a bit of a pitch and a promote. Every single person gets a turn to do it. And in month 4, there was a new person there. And this person had just come in, been flown in from the big company because they were starting to do a huge project just on the outskirts of Scarborough. It was potash mining or whatever. And he was just part of the company that was there. Anyway, we got chatting. He found out what I did. And he was saying, we need accommodation. We are desperate for accommodation. I've got to fly in hundreds of people from all over the world to come and start working at this place. And this was happening in October when I met him. And obviously in Scarborough, where I grew up, Scarborough in the United Kingdom is a very tourist location. As soon as it gets to November, December, January, February, that's what our slow months are. And we were able to fill out our whole bed and breakfast and our holiday cottages with these guys, just from simply knowing this chap. Now, I like to think I'm all right at marketing. I've been given this sort of reputation that I'm really good at marketing. I sometimes I don't think I am. I'm just good at connections and just sort of relationships with people, because at the end of the day, business, as well as it's as much as you can be seen, the more people can buy from you. Another part of it is just knowing people, because it's not what you know, it's who you know. And those two things are huge for that, right? And I wasn't smarter than anybody else doing these really fancy Facebook ads or Google ads or knowing the social media trends that I could go viral. It was just literally being in the right place at the right time and having these conversations. But you got to put yourself in the room to have these conversations. So again, when I say the network is your net worth, 100%. And number 2 really links well to number 1, because when you know who you are, you know what you do, you just become the go-to. Another example, final example before I move on, is that And there's a chapter on this in the book Direct Playbook, right? I knew that my avatar, my target audience, weren't hanging out on Instagram, because back in 2014, Instagram was very new. Snapchat, definitely not. TikTok wasn't even a thing, right? I knew that my avatar was hanging out in Facebook, and in particular, Facebook groups. So I made it a mission to go and join Facebook groups. So again, I basically highlighted 3 to 4 Facebook groups, and I would just go in every day. Now, I didn't go in for hours. I just went in for 5 to 10 minutes every day. And I just showed up. Now, I didn't go into these Facebook groups to sell. I didn't try and pitch and promote. I just went in to help. And these Facebook groups that I joined, 2 of them were my local Facebook groups. So Scarborough Facebook groups. They didn't have anything to do with hospitality. But here's what happened. Because I showed up every day and I gave help and advice, so I answered questions, I pointed people to places, people just started to pay attention. And they would click on my profile. And when you click on my profile, it went to my personal profile. And when you landed on my personal profile on Facebook, I had it optimized. So the banner was me and our family at the granary with a nice banner picture, me and the kids and yada, yada. My profile picture and my bio said manager at the granary, with a link to our website and a link to our Facebook page as well. So the thing about Facebook is, you don't know who clicks on your profile. With LinkedIn, if somebody visits your LinkedIn profile, you get a little notification to say this person checked you out. But on Facebook, you don't. But it is amazing how many people will see you on a Facebook group post and click on your face and go and check you out, do a little bit of cyber stalking. And what I noticed over time is that in these Facebook groups, because I was showing up and I was helping and I wasn't selling, what happened is, somebody would come in and go, hey, I've got family coming in from out of town. Where do you recommend they stay? Or I've got friends from coming out of town. They can't sleep with us. We haven't got space. Where do you recommend they stay? And naturally, in the chat, people started to mention me and our website. Say, oh, go check out the granary. Go check out the granary. Go check out the granary. And that's what becoming the go-to is. It's literally about being the person where everybody knows your name. So I've given you an example of online and offline. And again, marketing 101, I do the exact same thing now with Boostly. When I started Boostly in 2016, I handpicked a couple of Facebook groups and I would just show up every day and help. And naturally over time, people will go, oh, where do you recommend I go for direct bookings? Where do you recommend I go for websites? And just without me now being in those groups, when you see people asking those questions, people naturally will just go, oh, go to Boostly, go chat to Mark Simpson. But it's same exact thing to do. So 2 good examples. Network is your net worth. Okay, number 3. Your website is your digital front door. A cheap website is the most expensive mistake you can make. Your site must pass the grunt test. Can a complete stranger understand what you offer and how to book in 5 seconds? It must be engineered for conversion. Wow, that's a good bit of tech. So your website, like I said, is your digital front door. It is your online business card. If your website is not set up correctly, it is literally going to turn people away instead of turning a looker into a booker. Now, unfortunately, the majority of vacation rental websites have a 0.4 conversion, which basically means for every 1,000 people that land on your website, only 4 of them book. When you set up your website correctly and you set it up in the right way, then it is literally designed to turn lookers into bookers. So what is the right way? Well, number 1, unfortunately, you can't have a free PMS website. I've seen so many of them. I was looking at 2 today. A free PMS website is just a free PMS website. It is not designed to turn lookers into bookers. And this is not me slating the property management software tools that are out there. It's just that is not their core business model. It is just a page to send people to. A website needs to be built on WordPress just because it powers 42% of every website on the internet. The search engines love it, and you can do so much more. Number 1. Number 2, you need to have a website that loads super fast and is super clear to who you are talking to. Again, so many websites I see now that try and do the Mona Lisa of website. They try and have one with flashy graphics, loads of text, so many options to choose from. Where if you look at, prime example, the Marriott, the Hilton, look at Airbnb, look at booking.com. I would argue stylistically, they're not very good looking websites, but they are built to turn a looker into a booker in the shortest amount of time possible. And that is what you need with your website. Okay. If you are interested in website design, if you're interested in Boostly doing your website design for you, then I encourage you to come and have a call and have a chat with us. We have some spots open this week. If you literally go to boostly.co.uk, you can chat to a member of our team. We'd be more than happy to speak to you. If you book a call before the end of the week is out, we'll even do a special little webinar discount. Just mention you're part of the Boost Your Bookings Bootcamp, and I'll apply that discount for you off the website fee. Next up, the human touch wins in an AI world. Okay, so this is something that I am banging the drum for as much as I love AI. And I think if you listened to me yesterday, you see how enthusiastic I got when we're talking about AI. At the end of the day, I feel like the way that we're going is that we're going to get to a point where you will get a message online, whether it's a Facebook DM, an Instagram DM, a WhatsApp, an email, whatever, and you will doubt in your mind if it is a human who sent it or if it's a robot who sent it. That's just where we're going. And I talked about hospitality at the start and about how we're in the industry of making memories, right? At the end of the day, our business, you're not real estate people, you are in the world of hospitality. And hospitality is people, whether we like it or not. And there is such a simple and quick win that so many people are ignoring. And it's this: pick up the phone and call your guest. And I've laid out 3 touch points here. And I know what you're instantly thinking. My guest does not want a call, right? Give them the option. Just pick up the call after they've made the booking and just say, hey, my name is Danny. I'm calling from X business. Just want to say thank you so much for placing that reservation with us. This is just a super quick call just to confirm your stay and just to find out a little bit more about your stay. Are you okay with having this call? That's it. Super, super simple. Now, the benefit of this, number one, especially if you do it within the first 24 hours, even if a booking comes direct or even if it comes from Airbnb or one of the OTAs, right, is that with Airbnb changing the cancellation policy so that every booking that comes in, the guest can cancel within the first 24 hours, doesn't matter what the excuse is, for no charge, right? What we're going to notice happen, and this happened on booking.com, it's going to happen on Airbnb, is that you're going to get guests who will book 2 or 3 places at one go. Okay? There's nothing we can do about this, right? What they're going to do is they're going to cancel 2 and keep 1. Now, instead of complaining about this, because we're not going to change, they are going to do this because they can. What we can do is we can try and tip the balance in our favor. And now more than ever, a booking is not a booking until the guest walks through your door. I'll repeat that. A booking is not a booking until the guest walks through your door. Okay? So how can you tip the balance in your favor? So number one, up to 24 hours after a booking is made, call the guest. Okay? The reason why it will tilt in your favor is that you're no longer just a name. You're no longer just an Airbnb. You're a person. You're Mark from here, speaking to you. Instantly, those other 2 places don't look as appealing because you've taken the time to call the guest. Another quick win from calling the guest is that during that call, you can do a little post-booking survey, all right? So you can say, hey, so again, thanks. So Karen, thanks so much for making the booking. We really appreciate you helping a small business, yada, yada, yada. Just out of interest, why did you choose us? There's so much choice. Why did you choose us? So number one, business information. You can find out why you. So was it that you are so close to the soccer stadium for the FIFA World Cup? Is it because you're lakeside property? Is it because you are that close to the surf, they can literally touch it, right? Was it that it was the listing just spoke to them? You'll be able to find out what you're doing from a marketing point of view. And again, if you speak to 10 people and if 8 of them say the same thing, then it's like, wow, I need to go all in and talk about that more, right? Also, as well, you can say, so are you coming to stay with us for any reason? Are you celebrating? Yada, yada, yada. Is there something that you're doing while coming here? And they could go, oh yeah, so it's my little Timmy's birthday. He's going to be 4 years old. He's always really wanted to go to the farm park. And you go, oh, wow. By the way, Karen, did you know that we've got a birthday bonanza package? Would you like to find out more about it? Which parent would go, oh no, I don't want little Timmy's birthday to be extra special. No, thank you. And even if you don't have a birthday bonanza package, you can create one and you can mark it up 300%. And it's an upsell opportunity right there. You get that from picking the phone up and having a phone call with your guest. Number 2, 24 hours after they check in. So don't call straight away, but 24 hours after they check in, pick up the phone. Just say, hey, Karen, hope you're doing really well. How's your first night's sleep? At that point, if there's any little issue or doubt that the guest is having that could potentially affect their stay, you can find out then and you can fix it. Because the worst thing is when you go silent on your guest, the guest checks out and that little thing is brewing. So when they get that prompt from you or from Airbnb, Expedia, or Verbo, Booking.com to leave the review, that's when they go, blah. And that's when you get that little shocking 2-star, 3-star review, but should never be in a 2-star, 3-star review. Also as well, 24 hours after check-in, awesome opportunity to do some upsells, cross-sells. Would you like us to organize a mid-stay clean for X amount? Would you like to do a late checkout for X amount? Would you like to order yada, yada? Would you like to hear about our private chefs with Why Hungry? Would you like to do it then? And then the final one is 24 hours after checkout. This is powerful. Again, call them up. Thank you so much for staying with us. We really, really appreciated your stay and supporting a local business. Means the world. Thank you so much for leaving the property in such a nice state. We absolutely loved hosting you. ... Please leave a review. ... By the way, do you know anybody as cool as you would like to come and stay with us? This is where you ask for a referral. Right? And this is really powerful. So, hey, Zoe, is there anybody as cool as you that would like to come and stay with us? Is anybody else who's looking to come to is anybody else looking to come to Scarborough? Anybody else looking to come to Kansas? Anybody else looking to come to? And if they go, oh, I might actually know somebody. Bob in the office is looking to come, and I think he would really love this. Fantastic. By the way, if Bob books and mentions you, we will give you X in return. Dangle the carrot. You ask and you dangle. When you dangle the carrot, people are much more likely to take action. And dangling the carrot could be anything. It could be offering vouchers. It could be offering cold hard cash. It could be offering something that is synonymous with your local town that it's famous for. Honey, treacle, wine, beer, whatever, right? And it could be something really small, like under $50. And that little $50 incentive, if you compare that in the commission costs that you would pay for a booking on Airbnb, then it's tiny comparing to the big win. And 93% of all purchases online are on the back of social proof. So again, try it. And this all boils down to picking up the phone. So don't hide behind a text. Don't hide behind a WhatsApp. Don't hide behind an email. Pick up the phone. Now, let me just do a little temperature check. Here. How are you finding this so far? 4 steps in, scale of 1 to 10. 1 being, Mark, this is awful. Why am I listening to you? You've told me this time and time again. To 10 being, wow, mind blown. Cool question. Could you remind us where you can get this slide deck from today? I'll post it in the Facebook group. I'll put it in our WhatsApp chat afterwards. I'm glad you like it. Okay, cool. So the final 2 tips, number 5 and number 6, they've decided to put it in one slide, which I love. So step 5 is use data to price proactively. Stop guessing, use market data and dynamic pricing to optimize your rates and stay ahead of the competition. This is where Notebook has gone a little bit off here. Data, yes, I love data to price proactively, but number two, data is everything. I've mentioned it before. AI is going to change every business that is out there, whether we like it or not. One of the things that AI is going to be able to do really well for hotels, accommodation businesses, all e-commerce, every big brand, is that marketing at the moment is very shotgun. As in, you shoot a shotgun, it spatters its bullets everywhere, and it may hit something. What AI is going to do is it's going to help your marketing become a sniper approach, where it will make everything become hyper-personalized. The only way that we, as in you and I, can get anywhere near the big guys on this is with data. And again, we have got a phenomenal ability right now to still get the data from our guests. We are not quite there on the Amazon level just yet. With Airbnb, we are lucky. We get first name, last name. We get phone number, even though in America they're testing temporary phone numbers, which is not a good thing. And as long as you've got a good welcome flow, i.e. Google form, check-in, stay-fi to get their real email, we can get the emails. When a guest is in our property, we need to be doing everything in our power to be making sure that is our guest for life, right? So having stay-fi, Google forms to collect their data. Data level one is literally, step number one is first name, last name, email, phone number. Data level two, check-in date, checkout date, date of birth, how many people they traveled with, that's good. Where did they stay? Data level three is where did they visit? How many kids do they got? Did they travel with friends? Where, all these sort of things. And the sooner you start collecting this data and storing it in a CRM, a customer relationship manager, which, is HubSpot, Go High Level, Boostly CRM, yada, yada, the better. Because what this means is that, let's just say a guest messages you in a year's time. They come onto your direct booking website, they chat to your chatbot, or they send you a message and they think they're chatting to you and they go, hey, Mark, would love to come back. Now, in 2014, we would have guest callers all the time. 2015, 2016, guests would call all the time. And to the guest, they know everything about you. All right. So they knew me, they knew Laura, they knew Alfie, they knew mum and dad, they knew the history, yada, yada. They are one of 1,000 people that could potentially be calling. And they would pick up the phone and go, you're right, it's John. How are you doing? And my brain, it's John from Sheffield, how are you doing? My brain would have to go so fast to try to be able to pinpoint who that person is. And it would always lead to some very awkward conversations of, sorry, who are you? But with AI, what is going to happen is they're going to message in. The AI will be able to read your data that you have on them and be able to go, oh, hi, John from Sheffield. How's Karen doing? Are you looking to come back? You stayed with us on these dates. Would you like those dates again? Are you looking for somewhere else? Oh, by the way, how's the job? Blah, 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 blah. And it'll be able to do that. But the only way that it will be able to do that is through data. So what I'm saying with data is start collecting it now. Okay. And again, all of the things that I speak about, there's a huge section on it in this book. Go start doing it. And number 6 is possibly the most important one, is dedicate 30 minutes a day to sales and marketing. It's the single most important habit, because at the end of the day, if you can't generate your business money, your business won't be able to survive. Marketing and sales is so important. I was watching this YouTube short yesterday morning. I don't know who the chap was, but he said if you dedicate 100 hours to a topic, you'll become better than 95% of the world on that topic. He said if you break down 100 hours over 365 days, that's just 18 minutes a day. So if you can dedicate just 18 minutes a day of learning sales and marketing, implementing sales and marketing, you'll become one of the world's best, better than 95% of the world, the top 5% in a year's time. And I proved it this morning that you can put together 4 social media posts, an email, and a blog post within 15 minutes. Everybody has that time. And if you come to me and go, Mark, I haven't even got 15 minutes, I'm going to say, show me your screen time. Open up your phone, open up your settings, show me your screen time. I guarantee I'll be able to find at least an hour of doom scrolling on TikTok or Instagram that we can get rid of, or Netflix, whatnot. But I promise you, if you can just start to add into your life every single day, just 30 minutes, that's all I'm asking for. Not 16 hours. I'm not going to go Alex Hormozy, Gary Vee on you. I'm just going to say, listen, just 30 minutes. And start to implement these every single day. Your business will be so much better in a year's time. Okay. So here's why I throw open the Zoom room to you. Which of these tips do you reckon you can start doing tomorrow? Which of these are you already doing? Pop it in the chat. Danny, fantastic question. Save it for tomorrow for the revenue management expert. So again, which of these tips? Is it going to be collecting the data? Is it the speaking to your guests? Is it that you're going to start doing sales and marketing, just do it every single day? Is it going to be you're going to get a new website? Is it going to be that you're going to go join that BNI? Is it going to be that you're going to go and try and call those local businesses? Is it going to be the riches and the niches? Okay. Now, very, very quickly, if you have enjoyed anything that I have said today, and if you are not a member of Boostly already, then please, please, please just pay attention to these next couple of slides, because I would love to invite as many people as possible to book a call with us. And if you book a call before the week is out, so before the end of Sunday, mention that you're being on part of the Boost Your Bookings Bootcamp, and we'll give you a very special little discount. This is only available for non-Boostly customers. So when you work with Boostly, you don't just get a website. We give you this 6-step roadmap, and we give you all of the tools, the tactics, and the training to go ahead and get to 65% direct bookings. We've got a CRM that we spoke about. We give you email templates, social media templates. Obviously, you get a direct booking website that links to your PMS of choice, and you get more access to me and our amazing coaches. Like I said, last year, our websites brought in over $125 million in direct bookings. We've powered over 8,000 listings, and we've got over 2,000 people that we are helping. And the cool thing about working with Boostly is that we have an industry first and industry only money back guarantee. So if we do not get you a return of investment in new bookings after a course of a year, we give you your money back. And on top of that, I will give you $200 of my own money for apologizing for wasting your time. So if you like the sound of anything that I've spoken about today, if you are in this high risk or medium risk, and if you would like to get to this low risk, it is definitely worth having a conversation with us over at Boostly. Boostly.co.uk/call. We do have a couple of spots left this week, and we would love to speak with you. With that being said, that is today's session. I really, really hope that you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed doing it, and it's nice to do it through Notebook. So just to give you an example of what it should have looked like, let me change this here and go into Google Chrome. No, Comet here. So this is what my slides look like. I used to think these slides looked all right until I've just seen Notebook. They look so much more professional. But which ones did you prefer, the blue background or the Notebook ones? And the crazy thing is about Notebook is that I just pasted in a brain dump of me talking about these slides, and it created that within minutes. Interesting. Martin likes the blue background. Zoe liked Notebook. Danny, I got Perplexity for free. I took advantage of a special offer that was going. I do pay Notebook, but I'm on the Ultra. I'm sure there's going to be cheaper prices with Notebook. But yeah, it's fascinating. It's fascinating. Thank you very much for all the kind words. That's lovely to see. So if you have enjoyed this, I just ask one massive favor. Please, please, please come on over to Facebook. Come on over to my feed here. and just share these posts here this week. So thank you very much for everybody who shared yesterday. That's fantastic. Please just come and share these posts in Facebook groups. Spread the word, because all of this free education is available to all. Obviously, for those of you that are here, are in the Zoom room with me, you get to ask the questions. In fact, if anybody does have a question of anything that I've spoken about, please pop it in the chat. You've got 5 minutes to do so before I'm going to call it a night, because it's getting late and I got to be up for the school run, as you know, very soon. So if you've got a question, type it in the chat. But all I ask is you just share it. Just spread the word. Tomorrow, what we are going to do, and I'll send out a message tomorrow, is we're going to do a session about the FIFA World Cup draw. I can't not do it. Again, it's happening on Friday. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to lose a lot of money if they do not pay attention to this weekend. There's going to be a lot of people who can make a lot of money if they pay attention. And that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Again, if you're not based in America, Canada, Mexico, if you're not based in the big cities where the World Cup is happening, still do tune in, because you can learn a lot of very valuable lessons. Questions. Looking at veering away from Airbnb, but we have to work with them in the short term. Can anyone expert help me with Airbnb listing for a unique property? Yeah, so what I do every week, great question, is I do Airbnb listing audits. So again, keep an eye out on that. And again, what I didn't want to get across with this, I didn't want this to look like an anti-Airbnb chat tonight. I didn't want to come off and go, listen, cancel your Airbnb listing. You need to be listed on all of them. The reason why I don't say 100% direct is because I want you to be 65% direct, 35% other. It's my argument that it's as dangerous being 100% direct as it is being 100% Airbnb, because you need the OTAs. Because again, 70% of all direct bookings come on the back of an OTA search. So you need to be on them. I'm not saying cancel listings, but I'm saying make them work for you and not the other way around. So if for whatever reason your listing is suspended or is cancelled on Airbnb, you go, fine, because I've got this direct over here, this going over here, this going over here. You've got to have multiple revenue streams coming to your business. If you are wondering, what is tomorrow's links going to be? All you need to do, the person who put that in on the live chat, is come on over to Facebook, come and find the group, Boost Your Bookings Bootcamp. Okay, come into here. There's a post, and Dave Free's post is here. You can go and add that to your calendar, and you will get a reminder. It's going to be at 6 p.m. UK tomorrow, which is 1 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to be going live. Final one of the week. With that being said, I can feel my eyes going, so I'm going to call it quits there. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in, and we will be back tomorrow. Take care, all. Have a good night.